super welcoming, super nice, and from the very beginning they all just welcomed me in, and it really helped me feel like part of a community. It was really cool.
They're one of my favorite bands just in the world, and I like to go to their shows as much as I can, because how often do you get to see one of your favorite bands? And then it's just crazy how warm they've been and how you can just go and talk to them after their show, and they're just so humble and such wonderful guys.
Their music, it seems to just, it's from that other aspect, you know, that other side. It just brings you in and just shows you that there's light in the dark, and that you will make it through this, and that your life will get better.
I have a lot of trouble with depression and anxiety, and trying to find the words to express that. They're saying what I'm feeling but can't find the words for it.
Don't say goodbye, don't say goodbye. Pressure, leave me. Don't say goodbye.
So the first song I'm going to talk about is the first song on the EP. It's called Elwoods. The full name is Whatever Happened to the $2 Mimosas at Elwoods, because they used to have $2 mimosas and they don't any longer, and I think that's a travesty. And this song's kind of about a collection of breakups. It's not, this entire album is really about me having to find myself again on my own, dealing with mental illness and stuff. When you struggle with mental illness, it's easy to find your value in other people, and that's kind of what this song starts out talking about. Like, I was so lost and confused, and then this person came into my life and kind of gave me direction and kind of this confidence that I could be a better version of myself. And then it's about what happens when all that goes away. You know, one of the lyrics is, I'm not good enough for anyone, and especially myself. Like, I hate me, why would anyone else love me? Track 2 on the EP is called Greg the Orthodontist. The full name of the song is You Can't Kick Us Out of This Party Wearing CLIFFDIVER. Are You Still Seeing Greg the Orthodontist? Who's not a real person, but it's an amalgam of every guy that I was ever left for, just these supposedly like well put together guys who have their life together, and I'm, you know, a bartender in my early 30s, so.
It's a lot of fun to play live. It's got like this cool reggae section in the middle, and
That's the only reason why you like it.
yeah, pretty much. I try to squeeze in like a random reggae breakdown, and even though I think half the band hates reggae and ska and stuff.
And the whole song is about, as touched on in the end of Elwoods, is this idea that maybe if I can black out enough of these thoughts, then I could find kind of peace again. It's my mom's least favorite song I've ever written, by far, but it's one of my absolute favorites live, especially. Disassociation and denial are powerful tools in not dealing with your own mental well-being. And so towards the end of the song, it kind of breaks down from this everything's all right, which is what I'm trying to convince myself and everyone else. Everything's fine, it's fine, I got this. It's still something I struggle with on occasion, as a lot of people do, of you just want something to be different in your head for a little bit. And so a lot of people turn to the easiest thing in America that is socially acceptable, which is just to drink it away. So track 3 is called Alone in Your Apartment. Its full name is It's Dangerous Business Watching Romantic Comedies Alone in Your Apartment.
When we went to record it in the studio, it was really cool because during that, I think it's like the second section of the song where everything kind of slows down and dies down a little bit. The producer had the idea to record like the rain it was storming the day we were recording the song, which was a really cool effect. So if you kind of like listen closely, you can hear like thunder and rain and stuff in the background, and I think that kind of added to the whole mood of the song.
When I was 24, I attempted suicide, and so there's a lot of the emotion is pulled from that.
Not sure if we'll ever really play it that much live. It's pretty taxing, I think, both musically and emotionally for Joey. I mean, obviously it's a song about like suicide, and so it takes quite a bit of, I think, an emotional toll.
The song's basically about you're having a good day, then all of a sudden someone reminds you of this person, and then you just start spiraling, and you're thinking, oh shit, I'm really alone, and this, for so long I blamed this other person for me being alone, and this is your fault. You did this. Who am I supposed to be when you were the best part of me is one of the lines, and it's like this emptiness of really almost desolation of the depression, of this like real clinical depression, not like, man, I'm having a tough day, I'm really sad, but like this voice in your head that's like, you messed everything up and there's no other way out of this. So the end of the song is this screaming kind of breakdown of maybe it won't ever get better. And while that's not the message of this EP, I think it's very important to address that no nonsense, like actual feelings of despair.
It's important to process these thoughts and these emotions, because if you never deal with them, they're just going to be there in the back of your head, whispering. So this song's about me getting these out. So it's about a suicide attempt. So I'm sorry if that's a little intense, but we're gonna get all our bad feelings out, and we're gonna yell them out, and we're gonna feel better afterwards. Okay?
Track 4 is the first single from our EP. It's called Cameron Diaz, or the full name. All my problems started the first time I saw Cameron Diaz in The Mask, because they did.
With that one, I think it was like Spencer, myself, and Joey that kind of wrote it one night, and Joey was kind of like fiddling around on the piano, and then I just kind of had this real simple riff, and Spencer had this catchy little lead part, and then Joey started adding the piano, and I remember we sat in the studio and just played it for like an hour. We were just like, oh man, we were so amused with how like catchy and poppy it sounded.
And this song's about like, okay, we made it through that dark night. We somehow survived the long winter of the soul, as it's called, and we're able to reach out for help. And I found in my personal experience, that's when things started to turn around. When you are able to be vulnerable and open and self-reflective, which is the biggest thing, actually taking stock of where you are as opposed to where you've convinced yourself you are, which is a huge difference. That's when you're able to start putting things in play that'll help those dark times, those dark moments. You have to be your own advocate, and you have to be wanting to get better, because so much of mental illness thrives in the feelings of inability. Like, I can't get better. This is the best I can do. And while it may be true at that time, that doesn't necessarily mean that has to be as good as you will ever be.
Our friend Kyle Bell shot a video for it, and it turned out really cool. It has this like vintage kind of retro look, and it could definitely be a song. I think that could be like a theme song to an 80s sitcom or something. Yeah. So really reminded me of like The Cure, and kind of some of those like new wave type bands.
Which the same thing for me too, because when I came in and wrote the bass line for it, I was intentionally trying to rip off The Cure.
So the last song on this EP is called IKEA, right? Just IKEA? Lost in IKEA. The full title is Not All Those Who Wander Are Lost, but Can Anyone Help Me Get Out of This IKEA? The whole song is about making these small steps towards the future I want. One of the lines from this song is, you know, I've come to terms with who I am, and I'm learning to love myself again. I'm slowly becoming better than who I've been. Yeah, it's not an ending to a journey. It's more of the first steps towards a new chapter in that journey. Like the end of this song, the big moment on this EP for me is the bridge says, it's the inverse of Elwood's. It's, I know I'm good enough for anyone, and finally myself.
Let's hear it, let's go!
I think that part of the song too is like to give, I don't know, to give like the listeners a chance to be involved as well, because it is like it's definitely the message of the whole EP.
Where I am currently in my journey is trying to have those affirmations and trying to really believe those things, that I can do this, and I am strong enough, and I am good enough, and I'm worthy of love.
For anyone, and finally myself. So I'll draw